My family secret exploded at Thanksgiving and now nothing will ever be the same. Subreddit, r/true off my chest. I always thought my family was boringly normal. Dad obsessing over his lawn, Mom hoarding coupon binders, my sister Jess perfecting her Instagram aesthetic. But last Thanksgiving, a shoebox full of letters in the attic turned us into a Lifetime movie. Jess and I were hauling Grandma's china downstairs when I found the box behind Dad's old football trophies. The ribbon was frayed, the paper yellowed, and the first letter started with, "Caroline, I'll never forgive myself for letting your parents send you away." Mom's real name is Caroline. We shouldn't have kept reading, but we did. By the time Uncle Dave started carving the turkey, we'd learned Mom had a baby at 17, a son she'd been forced to give up for adoption. Dad knew. He'd known for years, and Mom's recent migraines were actually secret meetings with her now 42-year-old son, James, a mechanic with a teenage daughter who'd been blowing up Mom's phone with texts like, "Can't wait to meet my sisters." When Aunt Linda, 3 glasses of Pinot deep, slurred, "Caroline, you've been hiding more than Botox." Mom shattered her wineglass and screamed, "I'm allowed to have a past." Dad stormed out. Jess called him a selfish boomer. Grandma face-planted into the green bean casserole, and I sat there googling James' LinkedIn while my cousin filmed the meltdown for TikTok. Fast forward 3 days. Mom's at a Motel 6, Dad's couch surfing at his golf buddy's house, and James keeps sending me awkward voice notes saying, "Hey, kiddo, your mom says you like sushi?" But it gets worse. Jess, the family detective, found flirty texts on Dad's iPad from his 28-year-old assistant, Emily. When she confronted him, he snapped, "Your mother's been lying to us for decades. Why am I the villain?" Now Mom's threatening to sell the house, Jess is moving to Portland to escape the toxicity, and James' ex-wife DM'd me claiming, "There's more your mom isn't telling you." Last night, Dad showed up at my apartment drunk, sobbing about how Grandma forced Mom to give the baby up to protect the family reputation, and now he's lost everything. Meanwhile, James' daughter, Luna, keeps tagging me in TikTok trends like, "When you find out you have secret cousins." I'm 90% sure Mom's planning a Christmas reunion with James' family, Dad's lawyer is drafting divorce papers just in case, and I'm stuck here eating leftover pie for breakfast, wondering if we'll ever be a family again, or if we were ever really one to begin with. Mom decided Christmas was the perfect time to rebuild our family, which really meant ambushing us with a reunion none of us agreed to. She had been secretly texting James for weeks, planning it all behind Dad's back. I only found out when Luna, James' teenage daughter, slid into my DMs with a TikTok teaser. "OMG, your mom invited us to Christmas? This is gonna be lit." The video showed her painting her nails black while mouthing the audio, "Plot twist, my grandma's a whole soap opera." The day began with Mom frantically rearranging the dining room, insisting we needed more chairs for new beginnings. Jess, who had sworn off family events after Thanksgiving, showed up purely to document the carnage for her YouTube channel. Dad was still couch surfing at his buddy's place, but Mom swore he wouldn't dare ruin her fresh start. She was wrong. James arrived first, carrying a Walmart fruitcake and wearing a sweater that said Dad in glitter letters, a gag gift from Luna, who trailed behind him filming everything. "Say hi to my new fam, guys," she chirped to her livestream, panning the camera over Grandma's horrified face. Mom hugged James like he'd just returned from war, ignoring Jess's eye roll. Then the doorbell rang again. It was Dad. And Emily. He had brought her as his date, which was really just a middle finger to Mom. Emily, 28 and drowning in student debt, looked like she'd rather be anywhere else. "Your dad said this was a casual thing," she whispered to me, clutching a bottle of cheap wine. Mom's smile froze. "You brought her to my home?" Dad shot back, "You brought him to mine." The turkey wasn't even carved before the screaming started. Luna propped her phone on the mantle to capture it all, hashtagging it family drama unfiltered. James tried to play peacemaker, but Dad wasn't having it. "You think you can waltz in here and replace me?" he barked, jabbing a finger at James. "I raised these girls. You're just some stranger." Mom slammed her fists on the table. "He's my son, Richard. My son." That's when Grandma stood up, her face beet red, and hissed, "This is what happens when you defy your family, Caroline. Shame. Nothing but shame." Then she clutched her chest and collapsed face first into the gravy boat. Chaos erupted. Jess called 911 while Dad and James carried Grandma to the couch. Their feud momentarily paused. Luna's live stream hit 10K viewers as she narrated, "Y'all, my great-grandma just yeeted herself into the gravy. Prayers please." Paramedics arrived, but not before Aunt Linda, who'd been lurking in the kitchen, slapped Mom and screeched, "You killed your own mother." At the hospital, we learned Grandma had a stroke. She survived, but the damage left her unable to speak, her secrets locked behind a drooping lip. That's when Luna pulled me aside, her TikTok persona dropped for the first time. "There's something else," she said, showing me a faded photo she'd stolen from Mom's desk. It was Mom at 17, holding 2 babies. "Your mom didn't just give up my dad," Luna whispered. "There's a twin. A girl. Her name's Maria." The photo trembled in my hands. 2 babies. Mom, young and terrified, cradling them like they were made of glass. Luna hovered beside me, her usual sarcasm replaced by something raw. "I found it taped under her jewelry box," she said. "Your mom's been hiding this for decades. Maria, she's my aunt. My real aunt." I didn't sleep that night. By dawn, I'd combed through every family album, every scrap of paper in the house. Nothing. No trace of Maria. But Luna's TikTok was blowing up. Comments flooded in from strangers claiming to know the twin. One user, TruthSeeker99, messaged, "Maria Lopez. She works at Hospital San Jose in Monterey. Tell Caroline she remembers the pink blanket." I confronted Mom in the hospital parking lot while Grandma slept upstairs, machines beeping like a countdown. "Who's Maria?" I demanded, shoving the photo at her. Mom crumpled, her keys clattering to the ground. "You weren't supposed to find out," she whispered. "Not like this." Turns out, Maria wasn't just given up, she was sold. Flashback to 1981. Mom's parents, desperate to avoid twin babies derailing her future, arranged a closed adoption for James but sold Maria to a wealthy family in Mexico through a shady attorney. "They said she'd have a better life," Mom choked out. "But I never stopped looking. I hired detectives, sent letters. James never knew he had a sister." Grandma's diary. After Maria's call, Jess and I stormed to the attic. Grandma's final scribbled note, "Check attic," led us to a leather-bound diary hidden under Mom's moth-eaten wedding dress. The pages were brittle, the ink faded, but Grandma's voice cut through decades like a knife. October 12, 1980. "Caroline is pregnant. Again. That boy from the college won't return her calls, and the twins will ruin everything. Harold says we'll send her to the home in Lubbock. One child can stay with the gardener's cousin, they'll take a boy. The girl goes farther. The attorney says a family in Mexico will pay. It's better this way." March 3, 1981. The attorney brought cash. $5,000 for the girl. Caroline screamed when they took them, but she'll thank us someday. Harold won't look at her. He's too busy with that secretary, Helen. I see the way he looks at her. But I'll keep this family pure, no matter the cost. July 14, 1992. Richard asked for Caroline's hand today. He doesn't know about the twins. I told him she had a sickness as a teen, and he was too smitten to ask questions. Harold's bastard with Helen, that boy, Dave, is marrying Linda next month. I'll let her think he's charming. Better she suffers a cheat than knows the truth. Present day. Jess booked a flight to Monterey. "If Maria's real, we're finding her," she declared, shoving clothes into a duffel. Luna invited herself, snapping a dramatic airport selfie. "Off to find my long-lost Tia, BRB, family trauma." Dad showed up as we left, unshaven and reeking of bourbon. "You're really doing this?" he spat, blocking the doorway. "Tearing us apart wasn't enough?" Jess shoved past him. "You tore us apart when you screwed your assistant." The trip was a disaster. Maria refused to meet us. At the hospital, a nurse handed us a note. "Tell Caroline I kept the blanket." And tell her I hate her. Meanwhile, back home. Dad spiraled. Emily, overwhelmed by his drinking and the pregnancy, showed up at my apartment. I can't do this alone, she sobbed, clutching a sonogram photo. He promised he'd leave your mom. Now he won't even answer my calls. Grandma's diary kept unraveling us. Jess found an entry about Dad's business trips. Turns out, Grandma funded his affairs to keep him distracted from Mom's past. She paid his mistresses, Jess hissed. Including Emily. The final blow. Maria called Mom. I listened in, heart pounding. You had 40 years to find me, Maria said, her voice ice. But you only looked when your life got messy. I have a daughter now. She'll never know you. Mom hung up and smashed Grandma's china cabinet, glass shards scattering like the family we used to be.